So as you guys know, Joe Rogan recently said he's probably going to be voting for Bernie Sanders. He also said he likes Tulsi and he likes Bernie, and everyone else can eat some stuff. So Bernie Sanders actually tweeted out a campaign video. It's essentially, like this promotion video of Joe Rogan's endorsements, or if you can call it an endorsement. I mean, I would say it's probably an endorsement, you could say. I don't know, it depends on what your definition of endorsement is. And he just posted the video. It has a ton of likes and retweets, by the way. 85,000 favorites and 16,000 retweets. So obviously it got a lot of attention, as you want. It's cool. Seems like a good idea to publicize a Joe Rogan endorsement. Seems to be a good idea. Now, there were a lot of liberals who came out against this. Now, there were people who are wine moms and resistance folks, and people who are just not, to be taken seriously, right? Their opinions are terrible. But there were also some at least semi-respectable folks. So I pulled up a couple of these. This is an account. This one says, Joe Rogan is a transphobic bigot who shills for quackery and cuddles up to dangerous racists. Appearing on his show is bad but understandable. Publicizing his endorsement is indefensible. So that's one of them. This one has almost 1,000 likes on it, so not anything that's totally not legit. This person is named Sadie Doyle, okay, and she says Joe Rogan also had friendly interviews with Milo Yiannopoulos and Jordan Peterson. Yelled "You're a fucking man" on air about a trans woman. Vocally argued against allowing trans kids puberty blockers this year. Says the F slur, and believes the world is stacked against men. So enjoy. This one's from Carlos Maza. This is a disappointing one. He said, Bernie's campaign cutting a campaign ad with Joe Rogan fucking sucks. Rogan is an incredibly influential bigot, and Democrats should be marginalizing him. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. I mean, how can you win an election if you're basically shunning off like half of the electorate and you're saying that people are acting as if Joe Rogan is like David fucking Duke? Like, are you kidding me, dude? We're talking about Joe Rogan here. And imagine turning down the opportunity to essentially spread your message and to get across the aisle, because Joe Rogan has a lot of chuds in his fan base. He has a lot of MAGA, Trump, Republican doofuses in his audience. Imagine passing up the opportunity to essentially convert them, or at least a chance to convert them, into being Bernie supporters. And so these tweets are just really bad, I really have to say. And there are more than this. Here's one from Ellie Valley. Ellie Valley is actually a really cool guy, who really goes hand. He's a big defender of Ilhan Omar and everything. Like, he's a really cool dude. He says, second, did Rogan can vote for whomever he wants, but I don't think the Bernie campaign should be touting a transphobic creep who gives a platform to Nazis. So, again, this is just really, really crazy to me that they're doing this. Nobody is obviously perfect at all either, by the way. I know people are pulling up like some old comments of Joe Rogan's, which I feel like he can do for literally anybody, pretty much anybody that you could choose. Literally any person you just pick out, find some tweets of theirs from like 10 years ago or comments from 10 years ago, be like, oh, look at how bad this person is. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. And so you can make an argument about how, yeah, he probably platforms too many right-wingers. And I might agree with you, but it has seemed like he's been platforming way more lefties than he has been right-wingers as of late. In fact, I can't even remember the last right-winger that he had on, although that just may be me forgetting. And yeah, maybe he's wrong on some of the trans issues. Okay. Is that, the way to go, to just completely essentially like cast him away? I mean, this is how you lose elections. And you don't even have, it's all about the cross appeal. Who can defeat Donald Trump, right? Who can pick up the independents? Who can pick up the Republicans? But then once you figure out the candidate who can do it, and you figure out why he's able to do it, then you stifle that. So anybody who's saying this is dead completely wrong. Bernie Sanders is totally warranted to tout the endorsement of Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan's an influential guy. Think about the millions of people that listen to him. There are millions of people that listen to the guy, okay? That Bernie interview on YouTube alone has over 10 million, almost 11 million views. And he's an influential dude. Stuff that he says, people will latch onto. So we definitely want to take that. I would argue his endorsement is more influential than the New York Times. So definitely bad tweets here. But there were some people who were going after this. There was definitely not an insignificant amount of people doing this, just so you guys know.